video on the project analysis and design of a tall building. You have already defined the material properties of the elements. Now you will define the frame and slab sections with these materials. In the Define menu, select Frame Sections from the Section Properties option. Click on Add New Property, and select the Concrete Rectangular option. Enter a name for the column section of 500 mm by 500 mm. Change the material to M40 and the depth and width of the section to 500 mm each. For the reinforcement properties, select Modify/Show Rebar. Set the design type to column, and change the longitudinal bar material to HYSD 500, and the tie bar material to MILD 250. Keep the default values for the other properties, and click on OK. Click on OK, and the column of 500 by 500 mm section has been defined. Now, you will need to define two more columns, which are having similar properties as this, with the only difference being the section dimensions. So, instead of adding new property each time, click on the just defined column, and select Add Copy of Property. Here change the section name, and change the section dimensions to 550 mm in both depth and width. If you select the Modify/Show Rebar option, you will see that the settings of the previously defined column are already there, so you need not define them again. Click on OK. Then click on OK again, and the new column section of 550 by 550 mm dimension has been defined. Similarly, select the column one more time, and click on Add Copy of Property, to add another column of 600 by 600 mm dimension as shown. Now that the three column sections are you need to define a fourth property, which is having a combination of all the three defined column sections. Click on Add New Property. Here, under the Special option, you will find an option, Auto Select List. Click on the Auto Select Section List option. Give a property name for the Auto Select List. Then change the design type to Concrete. Then select the three defined column sections, and click on Add. The three column sections have been added to the Auto Select list. Then click on OK. Now, while drawing the columns, you will not be using the individual sections, but the Auto Select List property, and the software will automatically select the best section from the list, depending on the internal forces. Add the three beam sections similarly. Click on Add New Property, select the Concrete Rectangular Section option. Enter a name for the beam section, of 500 mm by 300 mm. Change the material to M40, and the depth and width of the section to 500 and 300 mm respectively. For the reinforcement properties, select Modify/Show Rebar. Change the design type to beam, select the longitudinal rebar material to HYSD 500, and tie bar material to MILD 250. Set the clear cover, for both top and bottom bars as 25 mm, and then click on OK. The rebar properties of the beam section has been changed. Click on OK, and the beam section of 500 by 300 mm has been defined. Now you add two more beam sections, which are having the same properties, except the dimensions. So, click on the just defined beam section, select Add Copy of Property. Change the property name for the 550 by 350 mm beam section, and set the depth and width values to 550 and 350 respectively. Click on OK. And the beam of 550 by 350 mm section has been defined. Similarly, select the beam one more time, and click on Add Copy of Property, to add another beam of 600 by 400 mm dimension, as shown. Now that the three beam sections are defined, you will add the Auto Select List property for the beams, just like you had done for columns. Click on Add New Property, and select the Auto Select Section List option. Give a property name for the Auto Select List. Then change the design type to Concrete. Then select the predefined beam sections, and click on Add. The 3 beam sections have been added to the Auto Select list. Then click on OK. You now have 2 properties, one beam Auto Select, and one column Auto Select, each of which are having an Auto Select list of 3 beam and column sections respectively. As explained, the software will decide the most suitable section for each and every element, depending on internal forces and stresses, and all you need to do is draw the frames, using the Auto Select properties. Click on OK, to exit the Frame Sections dialog box. To define the slab section, select Slab Sections, from the Define menu. Select Add New Property. Enter a name for the slab property, and change the slab material to M40, and thickness to 150 mm. Click on OK, and click on OK to exit. In the next part, you will learn to draw these defined element sections. Thanks for watching.